Today, respirators are everywhere, an essential tool for safeguarding the health of employees in a variety of work environments. Respiratory hazards in the workplace may include oxygen-deficient air, particulates which can damage your lungs, toxic vapors and gases that can cause respiratory problems and organ damage, physical agents, and biological agents that can enter your body through the air you breathe. Wherever employees are required to wear respirators on the job, employers must develop a complete respiratory protection program. This consists of a written respiratory protection program, a hazard evaluation, a medical evaluation to determine if workers are physically able to wear a respirator, fit testing of respirator face pieces for each employee who is required to wear one, and proper training. As part of this training, for the next few minutes, we'll be looking at the different kinds of respirators you may need to protect you from the hazards and contaminants in your workplace. Today, there are hundreds of different models of respirators. Your employer will determine which respirators are appropriate for the hazards of your work environment. There are two major respirator categories: air purifying and air supplying. Let's take a closer look. Air purifying respirators provide protection by filtering out harmful particulates from the air before you inhale them. Disposable models, like this dust mask, are used in low-level hazardous environments and offer easy-to-use protection against airborne dusts, particles, and powders. There are dozens of different disposable models. Some are general-purpose respirators. Others have been designed to protect against specific workplace hazards, such as oil particles and aerosols, welding sparks and fumes, and many other harmful substances. Some are single-use respirators, while others can be used more than once before disposal. But what all these models have in common is their basic design: a filter or cartridge and two straps. To use the disposable respirator, simply put the mask over your mouth and nose, placing one elastic strap above your ears and the other strap below your ears. If it's equipped with a nose clip, form the clip around the nose. Now it's time to perform the user seal check. The user seal check, which you will do every time you put on your respirator, tests the leak-resistant seal between the mask and your face. Without this seal, contaminants can be inhaled. The user seal check is simple. On many brands, the method is to cup your hands and breathe in. If your mask is properly fitted, you should feel no air leakage around the seal. If you do feel air leakage, tighten or readjust your mask and conduct the test again. And please remember, OSHA requires you to perform this seal check every time you put on your mask. Most of the time, this two-hand user seal check is recommended, but your dust mask may have a different user seal check method. So just to be safe, always check the instructions that come with your mask. Respirators that can be worn more than once need to be checked to determine when they are no longer effective. For example, this dust mask still looks pretty clean, even after being used. But you might want to think twice about reusing this one. Generally, the lower the contamination level, the longer use you'll get from these respirators. Reusable air purifying respirators come in many configurations. This is one of a variety of half-mask models. Also available are full masks and a line of powered air purifying respirators, PAPR for short. The PAPR models come with a motor blower and a hose. The blower provides a cool, continuous circulation of purified air throughout the facepiece. Most of these respirators contain replaceable filters or cartridges that protect the user from a wide range of contaminants. The colors of these cartridges are significant. Each color represents a different category of contaminant. These standardized colors make it easy for a supervisor to make sure you're protecting yourself with the proper equipment. Like the disposable models, reusable air purifying respirators have two straps. To put them on, place the mask over the face. One elastic strap goes over your ears, the other strap goes under your ears. You must conduct a user seal check every time you put on one of these respirators. You can do a negative seal check, a positive seal check, or both. To conduct the negative pressure test, place your hands over the cartridges like this. Exhale, then breathe in. There should be no air leaking past the face seal. If you feel air coming in through the sides of the seal, make adjustments. You may need to tighten the straps or reposition the respirator on your face. Then, repeat the test. One visible sign of a safe and tight seal is the imprint of a seal on your face. To conduct the positive pressure check, cover the exhalation valve and blow into the mask. The mask should puff up and no air should leak out. A cautionary note about facial hair. If your respirator has a tight-fitting facepiece, you must shave any facial hair that might come between the respirator and your skin. It doesn't take a full-grown beard or a mustache to interfere with the facepiece seal. Even a day's growth can decrease the protection your respirator provides. So if you wear a respirator on the job, shave every day before you begin work. Because air purifying respirators have many components, you need to carefully inspect, clean, and store your respirator. But maintenance procedures often differ depending on how long you use your respirator and what contaminants are involved. Your employer will tell you what the maintenance requirements are in your workplace. Some respirators need to be cleaned after each use. For occasional use respirators, a daily wipe down may be sufficient. How often you need to replace filters and cartridges also depends on how the respirator is used. You'll be given a schedule for cleaning or changing these components. This schedule is part of the written respirator program. Air dry your respirator before storing it in an individual locker or special storage area. Air supplying respirators are used in the most hazardous conditions. Unlike air purifying models, these respirators don't filter out the contaminants. Instead, they provide clean air from a self-contained source that is independent from the surrounding atmosphere. They are also used in atmospheres that are immediately dangerous to life or health, such as major gas leaks or chemical releases. This model is called an SCBA, which stands for Self-Contained Breathing Apparatus. Some models have air supply hoods, blasting hoods, shields, and helmets and capes. These are used for maximum protection against severe contaminants. Because these are the most complex respirators, you'll receive special training if your job requires you to use one. Their maintenance procedures are also more involved than those of other respirators and require careful instruction. Whatever type of respirator you use, you must inspect it before every use, and you must inspect it again after using it. You must also inspect it monthly, even if you haven't used it during that time. In general, you should inspect the facepiece, head straps, valves, filter elements, and air supply system for wear, damage, and dirt. Inspection checklists for different kinds of respirators are found in the written plan. Your supervisor or the respirator program administrator will give you the checklists you need. If you find a problem, have it corrected before you put the respirator on. Wearing a respirator places stress on your body, and if you have certain types of health problems, wearing one may worsen your condition. A medical examination will check you for some of the conditions that could affect your respirator use. Having any of these conditions doesn't necessarily mean you can't use a respirator. A medical professional will determine your ability to use a respirator and what type of respirator you can wear. One of OSHA's requirements for all of these respirators is that once a year employees undergo an annual fit test. The saccharin, Bittrex, and banana oil tests use your senses of taste or smell to measure the effectiveness of your respirator. Once the respirator is securely on your face, A nebulizer is used to spray either saccharin or Bitrex. If you can taste or smell these substances, there is a leak and your respirator will need to be adjusted or repaired. For the odor test, banana oil is put on a paper towel. If you can smell the oil, there is a leak, and adjustments or repairs must be made. In some cases, a smoke test is used. If you detect the smoke, you will be instructed to readjust or tighten the mask. You will then be tested again. One final point. What if your respirator malfunctions while you're using it? Maybe you can taste or smell the contaminants in your work area, or you're having difficulty breathing. If you suspect that something is wrong with the respirator, leave the work area immediately. Only after you're safely away from the work area should you remove the respirator and make any necessary adjustments. Never remove the respirator in the work area for any reason. Your respirator has been selected to protect you from the hazards in your workplace. The facepiece has been custom fitted to you, and you've been given instructions on how to inspect, clean, and store your respirator. All of this has been done to protect your health and safety. Now it's up to you. Use what you've learned today to work safely when you wear a respirator.